Welcome back to another day, another weekend, more adventure. Come on, gotta get our airplanes ready. Ooh, look at that, Medal of Honor bird. Beautiful. All right, let's go wake them up. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Stig shift. I had to do another little quick drive-by and check out this beautiful flagship Valor, or we call it the Medal of Honor bird. Funny enough, you're going to see it once again towards the end of the shift because the airplane circulated it around and came right back a couple of days later. But without further ado, come on, let's go. We got to wake up our airplanes. Office number one, so far so good. Let's see. It's kind of funny to see sometimes you'll see different chairs. The thing is, they're still interchangeable. This is the new style with this type of headrest and just different configuration with the lumbar. But then you got this style with this type of headrest. A little bit of a different configuration with the lumbar as well, but yeah, different chair. I'm sure either one or the other got changed at one point or another, but they utilized a part number that's interchangeable or a higher assembly number. So let's talk about this. I don't think I've mentioned how we actually get access or get the proper parts that we need. It is a bit of a mundane subject, but it is part of aircraft maintenance. Having proper parts and effective parts to the aircraft is very important. To simplify this, every single airplane, every single tail number or nose number that we go by has its own particular set of parts. Now, a lot of these parts can be interchangeable, but there's a very certain criteria that you have to meet for a part to go on a particular aircraft. For example, let's say I am changing out that seat right there, and I just go look at the part number on the old seat, the one I'm supposed to be removing, right? That's the incorrect way to do this. It's a good reference point, but that's incorrect. What you have to do is go to the IPC, the Illustrated Parts Catalog. Once you access that catalog, and most of it is digital nowadays, but even if it's a paper manual, you are going to look for the effective number or the effectivity for that particular aircraft. And as I said, that's done by inputting the tail number or the nose number into the database, and it will filter out everything that you need. It will take out any kind of unnecessary information or blank it out. Before the digital age and all the convenience that we have, we do this manually, as in pay attention to the numbering and if it's effective or not effective to that particular aircraft. Now, why is this important? It's important because you don't want to install an incorrect part on a particular aircraft. There are such things as service bulletins, pre and post. Every aircraft is slightly different than the other. There's certain modifications that could have been done on a particular tail number that's not been done on another. So it would be illegal, and you would be putting on an incorrect part number or part onto that particular aircraft. And I also forgot to mention, some aircraft have particular engineering orders done to them and some have not. So let's say I went to the IPC and I found the correct part number that is supposed to be effective to that airplane. Now, here comes the other portion of this. Higher assembly numbers as well as interchangeability. Again, meeting the certain criteria of that particular airplane. Say we are changing the seat on aircraft 400. Here's a good example of the IPC. Focus your attention on the top left corner where it says -001. And as we scroll down, you're going to see that number change. 001 Alpha, 001 Bravo, Charlie. This is what you call higher assembly numbers. Over the generation or the lifespan of those seats, they evolve. Newer models get produced. Some are interchangeable and some are not. For example, if we scroll down all the way, you're going to find yourself at the very last iteration of that seat number or the model of the seat. Let's say we did not have 001 Delta in stock, but we do have 001 Bravo in stock. We look at the criteria, we look at the allowance within interchangeability, and we see if the manufacturer is allowing us to downgrade that seat or go back to the older variation. If the documentation says it's okay, those seats are interchangeable, you can downgrade and go back to an earlier model of that seat, then that's exactly what we do. We will take out that particular seat and install the other one because it's allowed. And that's how that works. And this goes for every single component in the aircraft as well, even down to every little nut, screw, rivet, everything. It is an aircraft technician's responsibility to make sure that you have the correct documentation as well as the correct part numbers. I told you guys this is not a very exciting portion of the job, but it's very important in regards to placing proper parts onto the proper airplanes. And this is just scratching the surface. I'm not even talking about borrowed parts or robbed parts or parts that are on loan or even diving down into the component maintenance manuals, which is the CMMs. In any case, I hope you guys understand how that works. Come on, let's keep on moving. But yeah, Oh, nice and brand new. Soft. Alrighty, this one's good. On to the next one. Here we go. Airplane number 2, or actually number 3. Making sure everything's A-okay, as usual. These stayed overnight, so this is the first flight of the day for these aircraft. So let's go. Everything looking good. Engine oil's good, hydraulics good. Happy airplane. Ready to fly. Let's see. You know, we always gotta do it. Switch the guns. All right. I gotta stop doing this. All right, come on to the next one. All the aircraft got woken up properly and prepped for departure. I usually like to stand by right there on the flight line, making sure my birds leave on time. And just in case we have last minute gate calls, I'm there on site. This helps prevent any kind of delays. And personally, I can't stand running back and forth from the shop, so in case I do need parts or any kind of components or help, I can call back to the shop and say, hey, this is what I need, this is the tail number, and somebody will come over and either deliver parts or give me assistance. But otherwise, it's always enjoyable to just sit back and watch my beautiful airplanes roll out and fly out. There she goes. Whew, that's beautiful. As the day progresses, more of our airplanes are coming up from the hangar because it's an originating flight. These airplanes stayed overnight, they got some maintenance done on them, and now they're coming in for their first flight of the day. They utilize the super tugs, as you can see right here, to bring in these aircraft because it's more fuel efficient to bring airplanes with tugs like this instead of under its own power. Saves on fuel, and it's more safer. And another happy Airbus just came up from the hangar. Gonna go right back out. Well, gonna go about flying. Anyway, is it me, or am I just a strange one that I like to listen to boarding music? Yeah, I think that's just me. I'm weird like that. It's kind of soothing. I know, I think I'm just a crazy one. The next flight that came in was a 777-300, and this was a terminating flight. This one just came in from Sydney, and all we had to do is really just oil the engines, and it was going to get repositioned back to the hangar, but it was going to leave later on that day. I think it was to Heathrow. Since the scheduling allows it and we have some ground time, we send it over to the hangar so some maintenance can be performed on it. Anytime aircraft have prolonged amount of ground time, we take the opportunity to get more maintenance done as much as possible. All of that is handled by scheduling department and our planners. It takes a great deal of effort and an army of people to do this. All this information and all this planning is done by our headquarters. Pretty much every airline runs like this. This aircraft came in with a very interesting problem. This was an Airbus 319, and upon arrival, the pilots were shutting down the engines and something happened and a fault kicked up. Okay, don't freak out. Let me explain. The engine, number 2, did not actually fail. It was something that got thrown out of sequence. This is a very rare occurrence and it almost never happens. And you're gonna laugh to yourself, and because I laughed as well, of why it actually happened. You walked up to the flight deck and debriefed the pilots and asked them, what exactly happened? Give me the sequence of events. What did you see and what did you do? Pilots described to me very clearly, they came in, parked the aircraft, and they went through the sequence of events of shutting down the engines, which is with those little switches right there. They went to go off on number 1 engine, everything's fine, it's shut down, but when they went to off on the number 2 engine, there's a little detent. You have to pull up on that switch and bring it back down. The switch was a little sticky. There was a little bit of debris right there. So when the pilot went up and back on the number 2 engine, it got stuck a bit. So they went back to on and then brought it back down to off. This threw the engine completely out of sequence, or the shutdown sequence. Airplane being an airplane, and with all its safety features and redundancies, the airplane freaked out and said, hey, something's wrong. You went to off and you went back to on, and then now you want to go back off again, and it kicked up the fault. Ran through the diagnostics, we looked at the engine computers and saw that literally nothing was wrong. The airplane was doing what it's supposed to do. At that point, we understood that this is not some kind of a computer problem or any kind of mechanical malfunction. This was simply the switch itself. I brought up some cleaning agents and some lubrication, cleaned it up, cycled the switch back and forth, and as a precautionary, I said, you know what, let's run the engine. And that's exactly what we did. After cleaning up all the debris within that area and then lubricating it, we just simply ran the engine and everything ran just fine. The aircraft did not have any kind of history between it as well. Oh, and by the way, if you're seeing the screens flashing like that, it's because these are the older style CRT screens. But yeah, that was it. Nothing big, nothing major. It's just a scary looking fault, which did not relate to anything else besides a sticky switch. And here's a nice view for you from downstairs when the engine was running. There you go. Pretty cool, huh? Driving by, and I saw this beautiful Air Canada bird. I don't think I've ever seen this before. That is really cool. Look at that. That is awesome. That's nice. 787. Very nice. To any of my Air Canada employees, if you guys see your name on here, please let me know. That's pretty cool that they put the names up there in appreciation of their employees. Next office, as always, ETOPS time. Time to send this one to Heathrow. This is a 777-200. Our 200s are equipped with Rolls-Royce Trent 800. Lovely. As per usual, another ETOPS check. We have to oil the engines, making sure we do a proper walk around, making sure we don't see any kind of damage, inspecting the tires, brakes, and all the drippings that you see on the floor. That's not actually leakage, that's just water, condensation. Remember, it's very cold up in altitude. When the airplane comes down, it starts melting. But if I ever have a doubt, if in case it is some kind of fluid, I'll give it the old smell test. Checking out navigation lights, making sure everything's working, making sure the static wicks are all there, looking for bird strikes, lightning strikes, things of this nature. All of this inspection is called GVI, General Visual Inspection, and we do it from the ground. Somebody asked me one time, what about the top of the airplane? What about the top of the wings? What about the top of the tail? Well, to be simply honest with you, it's impossible to do that. I mean, it is possible. I can go get a lift and perform all this detailed visual inspection, but the airplane will never leave on time. The criteria of inspection is set by the manufacturer and also by the ETOPS program. This is what they tell us to do, and that's what we do. Remember, guys, I don't make the rules, I just follow the rules. Heavy, in-depth inspections like that are reserved for aircraft that stay longer periods of time overnight. And they also have capacity to put it into the hangar with proper facilities to do such inspections. They haven't done unloading yet, but I can watch it as they unload and inspect as it happens. But this part is still open. We'll do a quick inspection, making sure all's good. There's a bulk cargo right here. Here we are, back into the flight deck. Everything looking good except for one little thing. The left IDG needs a little servicing, so no worries. We'll bring that oil level up. That's easy. The rest is actually looking mighty fine. Hydraulics are good. Oxygen is good. AP oils are good. I'm happy. Let's see, check the tire pressure as well. Lovely. These massive engines have redundancy. They have a primary generator, which is the IDG, and they have a backup generator. This was the number 1 engine, and this was the primary generator. Sometimes seepage happens and it loses a little bit of fluid, but this is why we inspect. A quick word to my technicians or future technicians. Anytime you're servicing an IDG, please make sure to depressurize it. There are 2 ports on the IDG. The one on the left is the depressurization as well as the overflow. The one on the right is the servicing port. Prior to servicing it, you have to install the depressurization hose as well as the overflow port. This will release any kind of built-up pressure within the IDG. Then you can start pressurizing it. You can start servicing it. As you service, once it reaches a capacity, it will dump overboard any kind of excess. You would allow the fluid to stop flowing or overflowing. Once that's done, you disconnect it, you put the quick disconnect caps back on, then you go upstairs to check the parameters, making sure the service light is out and it's back to normal. And there it is. Back to normal. That's exactly what I wanted. Easy peasy. All right, inspect the rest of the interior, and then we are on standby. Well, paperwork, then standby. All right, let's go. Got all the paperwork done, everything was signed off, and I was just standing around by the airplane, by the jet bridge, and I watched this beautiful Qantas A330 get pushed out. That's beautiful. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the Brisbane flight, which is one of the longest flights. Brisbane to LAX, or LAX to Brisbane. Or was it Auckland? I can't remember now. But regardless, it's always beautiful to see this airplane. I miss working on a 330. There she goes, off to London with you. And for me, time to go home. I'll see you guys here bright and early in the morning. All right, don't forget the coffee. Later. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another day. And this is quite interesting. This is aircraft 193. And if you guys know about this airplane, I'm sure most of you do, this is the airplane that got hit by a bus. Okay, who's ready for story time? All right, And I'm not joking, this airplane got hit by a bus. And I'll tell you what, this airplane was out of service for quite some time. But it's back flying again, and let me tell you what happened and how it happened. By the way, this is an old incident. This happened back in February 11th, 2023. So the story goes like this. Aircraft is under tow going to maintenance parking. Follow along on a map here. So the aircraft came off of the gate, either out of the alleyway Charlie 10 or Charlie 9, and went down Charlie Taxiway. It was heading down to Charlie 5. This is where we usually park our airplanes, or one of the places we park our airplanes. Upon turning left onto Charlie 5, a bus was running down that same corridor on a service road. Remember, and I've told you guys this before, airplanes always have the right of way, no matter if it's under its own power or under tow. Airplane always has the right of way. This bus driver was not paying attention and did not notice an aircraft turning into an alleyway, and there was a collision. It basically sideswiped the airplane and the tug. There were some minor injuries, some people went to the hospital, but no fatalities, thank goodness. Remember in my previous videos when I mentioned complacency and lack of situational awareness is the biggest killer on the airport? Yeah, pay attention to what you're doing, head on a swivel. And if you don't, these are the results. I was on shift that day, and this was towards the end of my shift, but I did go and see it. I didn't snap any photos because we were trying to resolve the issue and get the airplane off of the taxiway so airplanes can still move around. But a good friend of mine, Speedbird HD, you guys pretty much know him. He's pretty famous on Instagram and here on YouTube. Go check out his stuff. He's an amazing guy and awesome content creator. He managed to capture some of these images. The damage was very extensive, not only to the radome, but also into the pressurized compartment. It broke the actual bulkhead seal. At this point, the aircraft is out of commission, it's downed, and needs heavy repair. At one point, they considered scrapping the aircraft, but the thing is, the airline owned that particular aircraft. This was an old US Airways aircraft. So to scrap a aircraft that is owned is not advised. So they turned to Airbus engineering, calling Airbus and getting their people out to LAX to try to assess the damage and the situation. And that's exactly what they did. Airbus engineers, as well as their technicians, their specialized airframe technicians, came out with their specialized tools with all the parts and started repairing that aircraft. The airplane sat in one of the hangars for about 7 months. And I'm sorry, I cannot give you the footage of what I saw there because that is Airbus proprietary knowledge and simply just not going to show it. But what ended up happening is repair of the whole forward portion of the fuselage. Everything from reskinning the aircraft, repairing all the ribs and all the joints. The whole forward portion of the fuselage was basically ripped apart and put back together. It's incredible to watch that type of perfection in work. The engineers and the technicians put that airplane back together. And here's the result of that final repair. The engineers did an immaculate job. Complete reskin, refurbished all the internal portions of it, the spars and the ribs. But the story does not end there with good old 193. This aircraft was scheduled to go out to Pittsburgh for a final repaint. But another issue was found as they were stripping the aircraft from its old paint to get it repainted. They found corrosion. Mind you, this was going to be found regardless because aircraft do go through heavy C&D checks and even heavier checks than that. But this was an early find due to this damage, so they started addressing the situation. Once again, they called upon Airbus and said, okay, we found a little bit of corrosion. What do we do now? Airbus said, you have to replace every single rivet within the wings. They had no choice. Either scrap the airplane or get it back into airworthy condition. And company decided, you know what, we're going to keep the airplane and we're going to refurbish it completely. The images that you're seeing here is prior to it leaving to LAX going to Pittsburgh. Also, the interior of the aircraft was stripped because it was sitting around for so long and started to degrade. So they decided to pull the interior completely and they were going to revitalize the internal and the external from all portions of it. All said and done, the aircraft sat in Pittsburgh for close to a year, and they did do all the repairs, and the aircraft got repaired properly and got back into airworthy condition. It's one of the very few aircraft that got damaged, and one of the only Airbuses that actually got hit by another bus and still lived to tell a tale. My point in all this story, this is a miracle story, a miracle of engineering, Not only engineering through understanding how to repair aircraft, but a miracle of human achievement, not allowing something to go to waste. Human beings are incredible creatures when they put their minds to it, and this is a testament to it. Excellent technicians put this beautiful aircraft back together again, stronger than ever, and she will last a very long time. Here we go, first office. One engine taxi. Should have stood on the other side, I guess. It is not uncommon for pilots to taxi in with one engine. In this case, there was another aircraft waiting at this gate, waiting to get pushed back, and this particular aircraft was waiting in the alleyway. So what ended up happening is that the pilot with this aircraft said, you know what, we needed to preserve fuel, let's shut down one engine, which they did, smartly, and they just waited. And they taxied in with one engine on. So this is completely normal, and many airlines utilize this tactic. Well, this is a fine aircraft, no problems, no issues. Let's see now, we'll take this off alignment and reset it. They're gonna do it anyway, the next flight crew. Yeah, all good to go. Well, I know I probably mentioned this one before, but somebody asked it again in the comments, but it's fine. I'm sure I've repeated myself a million times about a lot of things. Somebody asked, what is this little fidget spinner, little wheel on Airbus 320 family armrests? Well, you know this one is for adjustment, right? But, let's see. That's what the wheel is for. That's it. So it doesn't get bound up by that. It doesn't get stuck right there. That's what it's for. It just rolls up. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway. And once again, back inside another Airbus. Let's see now. Let's see how the status reads. Good. Normal. That's what I like. Hydraulics. Oh! Let's see. That's a little bit too low. Yeah, let's service that up. It's right at the very edge of where it should be. It needs to be in between that green band. Yeah, let's service this up real quick. It'll be quick. All right, come on, let's go downstairs. Okay. Super easy. I got our Bowser ready right here. Come up over here. Pop that open. Take that off. That's the fitting. It's already a little bit loose. Here we go. Put that there. Shout out to Nipix right there. Take that off. Hook that up. There you go. We're going to tighten that up. Once we tighten it up, we turn the selector to the desired system. So we want to service yellow right there, right? So that's blue, yellow, green. So we're going to select it to yellow, tighten it up, and pump. There it goes, slowly going up. Keep an eye on it. You want to get it to the middle marker of the yellow band. The reason you want to get it to the middle marker of the band is because of fluid expansion. Remember, when any kind of fluid gets hot, it expands. So you want to have it somewhere in the middle. And it's okay if it's over the middle portion of it. There are ports or scuppers or overflow ports where the fluid will go into in case it is over-serviced. Oh, right below it, in case you're working on a yellow hydraulic system, that's how you would depressurize it. You simply turn that knob and close your eyes because it's going to be misty when it happens. Yeah, we're almost there. All right, I'll finish this up and we'll go check upstairs. There you go, perfect. All right, turn that off and let's go upstairs. There you go. That's all right. Remember, also a good reminder, when you are servicing yellow hydraulics, make sure the cargo doors are closed or service at the proper amount or level. Because when the door's closed, the fluid does go up with the yellow hydraulic system. That was a PSA for my Airbus technicians when they're working on this aircraft, especially on the 320 family. The reason I said this is because when the cargo doors are open that function on the yellow system, remember, the actuators, when they are extended, they have fluid within it. It pulls fluid out of the reservoir. So when you are servicing the reservoir with cargo doors open, you're not really getting an accurate reading. The cargo doors, when they are closed, it pushes the fluid back out of those actuators that push the door open back into the reservoir. Now you get an accurate reading. That's why I said that. We're all done here. Let's take a break, go on our lunch, and let's go check out some cool cars, as always. That's it. On to the next one. Let's go. As always, cargo never disappoints. And I believe this is a Lotus, and this is an old school Formula One car. You guys go ahead and do the research. You guys are so good at this. So feel free, chime in into the comments and let me know what you find on this vehicle. Now, this is something very special. This is a Mercedes F1 car, better known as the Silver Arrow. Now, I'm not sure what year this was from. I'm gonna assume about 1950s, but it's an incredibly rare car. And guys, if I did make a mistake on any kind of category on this vehicles, please correct me. You guys are so much smarter than I am when it comes to this stuff. And one last modern beauty is a gorgeous Lamborghini. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the Rivuelto. I know I just butchered that name. I apologize, but I think that's what this is. A modernization of an epic. Hey, the bull is always the bull. And that is, that is a bull right there. Kudos to whoever that owns it. Lunch break is over. Come on, get your coffee. We got to get back to work. Let's go. Here's something beautiful for you. The CFM Leap 1A, an immaculate piece of engineering and one of the most beautiful engines that are ever to be produced to this day. It's just a work of art. Every time I stand in front of it, and especially when the sun shines behind the 11:1 bypass ratio, and it's like poetry in motion. To any engineer and anybody that is infatuated with design, your heart should be melting right now. Mine sure is. It's the Medal of Honor bird. It came back again. That was cool. I always like seeing this thing. Flagship Valor. Pretty airplane. Well, that's it for the night, guys. Hope you had fun. I'll see you all later. Bye. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another beautiful day. And as you guessed it, we're going to go brake ride. Let's go. Probably going to be the only airplane right here because afterwards I got some training. But 787. Let's go. Time for a ride. Plastic Princess time. They haven't cleaned it. This thing just came in from Haneda, I think. Yeah. All right, we'll get this all set up and off for more fun. There you go. Take a screenshot. Okay, here we go. Transponder is all set up. Let's adjust these because I'm short.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Loud and clear, sir.
All right, we all set. Go ahead. Brakes, please.
All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to adjust the brake pedals.
All right. Okay.
All right, ready?
Yes.
Brakes are released, my friend. Good to go.
All right, brakes, please. Copy that. Thank you.
I think a lot of you enjoy the ATC chatter. This is why I always leave it on for you guys. So enjoy the ride and listen on and enjoy the view.
American Minus 1 Heavy on the ground, speed Charlie to the ramp.
Charlie to the ramp. American Minus 1, thank you.
JetBlue 8, left the tower.
Monitor tower, JetBlue 888. Ground, Spearwings 363 on Papa, short of Charlie for 56 Alpha.
Spearwings 363 on the ground, taxi Bravo Charlie 8.
Bravo Charlie 8, 363.
Viva 511, monitor tower 120, not fire.
120, monitor tower, Viva 511, Valley. Ground Info 52, crossing 25, right at Juliet, going to 70 Bravo.
United 1252 on the ground, taxi Bravo Charlie 6.
Bravo Charlie 6, and 1252. Ground Sky 4633, checkpoint 2, gate 86 Bravo.
That was 4633 on the ground, taxi Bravo Charlie 6.
Bravo Charlie 6, Sky 4633.
United 2377, Charlie 7 with Delta.
United 2377, LA ground at Bravo, pass behind company, runway 25 right, taxi via Bravo.
Hey, 25 right via Bravo, behind company, United 2377.
From the hello, Air China Fleet 8433, heavy taxi on Alpha, parking bay, tail up 2.
Air China Flight 8433, heavy LA ground.
Clear the flight deck, set parking brake.
Parking brakes are set. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
There you go. That was easy. Nice short little ride. That's always fun though. Plastic Princess is beautiful. There you go. I got out of the airplane and did a quick little walk around, and as I was doing the walk around, the maintenance crews were already busy. They already had the gear pins set up because they had a double tire change on this one. This one was staying overnight, but I took the opportunity just to do a nice visual inspection, and of course, look at that. Where else do you get to see this? A beautiful A380 just driving right past by. I tell you what, this is the best office in the world. Couldn't ask for anything more. I love this job. Absolutely love it. So in previous videos, I mentioned aircraft fueling, and I showed the hoses that attach to the aircraft, and I talked about that it comes from underground and it comes from fuel farms. Somebody asked, what do the fuel farms look like? Right here, these are the fuel farms. Massive storage tanks. They feed underground to individual gates. Well, that's it, guys. It was a short day, but well, almost done. Gotta go to trading department, get a little bit of training, just some safety training. That's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the whole week or the weekend, and I'll see you all on the next adventure. Take care of yourselves. Bye. I know it wasn't a very exciting weekend of work, but that's exactly how I want it. I want it to be nice, dull, and boring because that's how we want it to be. That means airplanes are working, everything is functioning correctly, and airplanes are flying out on time. A few hiccups here and there, but everything was resolved. Just a massive thank you to this community. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for your beautiful, kind words of encouragement and love and support. This could not be possible without you. You are the viewer. I am simply a person sharing my life with you. Thank you for being here. Stig, signing out. I'll see you guys on the next adventure. Later!